talk about. Unity now 4 shells to push forward and show us what you can do in attacking sense.
That's a wonderful ball into the feet of Rashford. Has that 1v1, maybe thinking about the strike. Instead it's Fernandez. Turns back onto the right foot. Will go across goal! And Shells is back into the game!
And sometimes when your back is put against the wall, you just add a little bit more spice to your gameplay. And Shells was patient. He waited, he watched, he looked at all of the runs. And he danced around with Bruno Fernandes and then found the cutback. And look what it means to him. He needed that goal.
It's a celebration almost of relief, though. I mean, it's not a joyous celebration, it's relief. He knows he's back into the game now. The self-belief you can see coming back into him, flowing through his veins. And now, with around 20 minutes or so left in this game, I believe, I mean, this now is anyone's game. Both players are going to have a chance, you'd imagine it. Who has the composure, who has the ice in the veins to finish things off?
And belief is so important, especially when you've conceded 3 goals in this leg and you've gone behind. It's natural you would start to think, oh, I'm going to lose this. Or it's going to be one of those days, the game's against me. Everyone's been there. A casual player just playing his weekend league games has been there. But then, as you mentioned, it's amped up 10 times when you're playing in a competition with a 40,000 prize pool. When you're going up against someone the caliber of Cosmin or Shells, either way, it's very difficult to try and keep your head.
So, back to business then in this quarter-final. And almost an immediate ball through to Rashford, and that would have wiped the smile off of Shells and Man City faces almost immediately.
That would have made him sit straight up in his chair, I'm sure. Those are the ones you've got to be careful of, because they can slip through. And once they have, it's very difficult to recover.
Well, Shells, who's managed to crawl his way back into this game. Haven't let it slide away from him previously. Now he's on the attack, Mo Salah, twisting and turning. And oh, I tell you what. There was a few challenges going in there as Mo Salah was about to pull the trigger. Sometimes you see players go down there. Salah stayed on his feet, and the shot, no venom whatsoever.
Keeper to keeper there. Cosmin trying to find that over-the-top through ball again. But you're completely right, it's so terrifying when your opponent is dancing in the box like that, and you know you have to lunge in at some point, because if you do back off too much, they're going to take advantage of it. In our other quarter-final, full-time whistle was blown, and it is 3-3, so that one's going to be going to extra time. What a game that is.
Last 10 minutes then, before we join our other game in extra time. But it's Leicester's Cosmin with the ball. Cliche saying that possession, 9/10 of the game on FIFA is exactly the same, and here's the overlapping run now. It's Robertson inside the box, gets to the byline, tries to cut it back, and it will be a goal kick.
Shells
as I fully expected to say corner.
He really has got away with that one, but he defended it well. He didn't lunge in, he didn't try and, win the ball back too aggressively and potentially concede a penalty. Instead, he just almost ran into the man. Just blocked off the possibility of a Buckley ball being driven across goal. And now with only a few minutes left, this could potentially be Shells' last attack of the game.
Well, here comes Shells for Manchester City. Rashford, massive, massive moments in this game. And Rashford almost got round Reece James. Well, that challenge, probably the most important one of the tournament for Leicester.
Yeah, we've seen James make a couple of mistakes. We've also seen James do things like that. And now this will be the last attack of the 90. Cosmin with a possibility of winning this game. Has to go forward, though.
Flowing forward, though, so many players. You can see the run going to be in behind to Mane. Alexander-Arnold tracks it all the way. The ball will be put out of play, and we are going to extra time here. Nothing to separate the players. Man
City, Leicester City going to extra time. Fulham versus Brighton going to extra time. Cannot separate these 4 teams. We can look back at some of the highlights, especially just this last moment, Mark. This could have been a chance for Shells to win the game, but Reece James stepping in, look at that challenge.
Had to make the challenge, and it had to be perfect. Get that even wrong by a millisecond, and all of a sudden, that's a penalty. Well, Rashford gets away and is burying that one in the bottom corner. You can see Shells now on the screen looking a little bit more calm. You see Cosmin as well. He's been really focused as well. His body language has been impressing me as well. It doesn't seem overwhelmed by the situation whatsoever. But for these two players, although they might seem calm on the exterior, I'm sure that those hearts are beating at 1,000 BPM.
Yeah, I mean, if the scale of nerves was high in the game in normal time, in those first two legs, now we've got extra time and things start to get upped even more so. And I'm struggling to know which team is going to win here because both of them have looked very good going forward. We've seen a few mistakes here or there at the back, but I think it's going to come down to experience. And I think if Shells can find that experience, that past history that he has in competitive FIFA, and he can dig deep, get a goal, then he should be able to hold on. But at the same time, Cosmin has showed me enough that even if he goes behind, there's no reason why he can't get a quick one back.
I feel like this is a real 50-50 game at the moment. I always say, sometimes these games are decided by a mistake or a moment of magic. And you always hope that it's the latter when you have a game of this quality. But into extra time we go. And it will be Leicester's Cosmin who has the ball from the restart. Vital to have possession and be the player who can create the chance.
15 minutes disappear so quickly in a game of FIFA. I have seen some players hold on to the ball for an entirety of one half of extra time, just so they have the only attack in an extra time half. And actually, I think it was Man City's Ryan who did it, the teammate of Shells. And I wonder whether Shells is going to go up against something similar here, because Cosmin still has the ball, still has possession.
And Pereira's got hold of it, the Leicester man. Slows things down just a second here. Shells trying to play a switch, trying to pressure the ball as well, but St. Maximin's got away from his man. It's a lax pass from the Newcastle player and a risky one out defence from Shells as well.
And that might be Cosmin's only attack of this half, because now with only 5 minutes left before that half-time whistle of extra time, it's Shells who has possession. It's Shells who can go forward and dictate the pace of this game. And the nerves for both of these players must be absolutely massive right now.
Palms will be sweating. And it's who has ice in the veins. Rashford, oh the directional nutmeg. Bruno Fernandes, no! Alexander-Arnold throws himself in the way of the shot. I just wonder if Shells had an opportunity to strike it there. And would he play that situation the same if he had the chance to?
I mean, James again, though, with that tackle. Yes, Alexander-Arnold might have done the final challenge to stop the shot from Bruno Fernandes, but the initial one from James was probably a game-saving one. One final attack for Shells before the whistle.
Salah getting the better of Pereira here, has to go forward though. Bruno Fernandes tries to do so. And the referee will blow his whistle once more, and now we are 15 in-game minutes away from having to decide who will go through to final say from the spot.
And we've already seen it happen once today, and of course, it wasn't long ago. Hashtag Tom going through to the semi-finals in a penalty shootout. Tottenham beating Liverpool from the spot. Unfortunately, Stingray, that was how he exited the competition. It's never fun to exit the competition in a penalty shootout, but sometimes when games are this close, you've got to find a way to separate the two. And the way it's going, it looks like we might have to do just that.
Well, we do have a goal to report in our other game that's going on, though.
Oh, no.
120 minutes on the clock. James goes forward here for Mark Marley and for Brighton. Mo Salah pulls the ball back and Rashford buries it. A massive, massive goal for Mark Marley. And Brighton surely will be going through the final stage.
I mean, they are the 123rd minute for Mark Marley. No penalties to worry about there. Brighton go through to the semi-finals. Commiserations, of course, to Damie and Fulham. But what a goal that is, to be able to do that in the last moment of the game. Ice in the veins. And it means that, well, it sets up a possible chance for one of these teams that we've been watching to go up against Mark Marley in that semi-final.
And Mark Marley, once again making it through to the final day of the competition, making it into the deep rounds where maybe this time, maybe this year, he can become the ePremier League champion. Of course, we'll find out the answer to that question on Friday of this week. But for now, we've still got to decide who's going to be moving through to finals day. Will it be Cosmin for Leicester? Will it be Shells for Manchester City? Or will we go into the spot?
Yeah, who's going to be facing Mark Marley and Brighton in that semi-final. I don't know who's happier, Brandon as a Brighton fan or Richard as Mark Marley's best friend and apparent coach one day. We've got 10 minutes left in this one. And arguably every attack could be the last attack for either player, so they have to make it count.
Well, it's Leicester's Cosmin with the ball at his feet, with an opportunity, a chance to make something happen. And now Shells has won the ball back, and he's looking to break forward almost immediately.
Yeah, try and take advantage of players pushed up the pitch and a little bit of space in behind. Does have to retreat here and recycle play. Cosmin desperately trying to scrap back and win the ball.
Rashford gets the ball inside. It's Riyad Mahrez, cancels the McGeady spin and just can't find that ball back. It was a good idea there from Shells. But you have to say, again, Cosmin defending. He hasn't put a foot wrong.
Shells covering that run with Adama Traore, but it did leave Pereira with the space on the right-hand side. And only minutes left now. You'd have to imagine that this would be Cosmin's last opportunity to win the game in extra time.
De Bruyne into Mane. Drama all over the ePremier League today. And you get the feeling that there's about to be even more. Leicester coming forward. Mane takes the shot. Robertson will collect the pieces. Shells desperately defending. Alexander-Arnold into Kevin De Bruyne. The ball breaks free. Traore will win the header. And we are going to the spot.
It's another penalty shootout, and the first one. Pereira steps up for Leicester and he puts it away. Nice and easy. Ederson goes the wrong way. Now for Man City, it's Mahrez, left foot, comfortable, 1-1.
1-1 it is. Now for Leicester. Robertson's going to step up and he's going to put it straight into the side netting. And now Shells has to answer back. Mo Salah versus Ederson, saved!
Can he capitalise on that save and take a significant lead? Score with Mane? No! It's a great response from Shells to save it. But now has to try and score with Rashford. But he doesn't! It's another save! 2 missed in a row.
And now an opportunity for daylight here for Leicester. But no! Shells says no! Another save! And a chance to tie things up here with Bruno Fernandes, who does so.
Sudden death then. 2-2. And Rashford here for Leicester, but what a save from Shells!
Now Shells with a chance to win it. And who else but Kevin De Bruyne to do so? He puts it away! City stay alive! And Shells has ice in the veins.
I think Kyle Walker just erupted from his seat as he watched Man City go through, and quite rightly, as you say, Kevin De Bruyne putting the final penalty in the back of the net. You can see what it means to Shells as well. Pure relief that he's able to get the victory as Man City will go through to the semi-finals to play against Brighton.
Yeah, he's got his head in his hands, a chuckle, almost tears in his eyes at one point there. I think every single emotion you could go through there was just displayed on Shells' face. But what a performance from him. I mean, it was a crazy start in the first leg to get the lead he did. But then Cosmin answered back in that second leg. He fired in 3 goals without reply. Shells had to find a goal. He did. And then in the penalty shootout, Shells fell behind again. He had to make saves.
It would be so easy for players to crumble in both of those scenarios. When Shells conceded 3 in a row, he probably, I would have crumbled in that situation. I would have conceded 4,
I wouldn't be able to
5,
hold the
or
controller.
6. But we can look at those penalties and we can see how Shells did respond. Of course, it went to sudden death, and then Shells saved. He guessed the right way, and then he also went exactly the same way with Kevin De Bruyne. And penalties are, of course, mind games. We see so many players now stepping to one direction and diving the other to try and cover the most of the goal possible. The only way to really counteract that is by being pinpoint perfect into the corner of the goal. But we know that's very difficult to do.
Yeah, extremely difficult to do. And something poetic about Kevin De Bruyne being stood over the final penalty to put it home. And, I mean, we've just seen what Shells went through. Nicole is going to speak to him now to find out what actually is going through his mind.
Shells. Well, I mean, you're smiling now, but wow, you must feel a lot of relief. Talk us through that game.
Nah, I'm shaking right now, to be honest. And even on the pens, I knew I had to score, and I was trying so hard to put it in the corner, but my thumb was like, oh my gosh. out of control. But now it was a tough game, and I'm just so happy to be in the top 4.
I mean, you are through to those semi-finals on Friday. Has this given you more confidence going into that?
It definitely has. I mean, like, now it's just one game at a time. I've been looking at it one game at a time. Today was all about getting to the knockouts. As soon as I got there, it was all about getting to Friday, and now I'm here. One game at a time. Obviously, anything can happen on tournament day, so hopefully I can just play my best and hopefully go all the way.
And how are you going to prepare for Friday? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I think I've played quite well. Obviously, there's a lot of things I can still work on, and the guys that are still in the competitions are top players. So I think I'm just gonna chill tonight. I'm shattered, to be honest. But tomorrow I just got to maybe review some gameplay, watch this game back, because I wasn't really happy with how I was playing in the first half and even in the second half. But yeah, just got to keep focused, and hopefully it'll work well on Friday. I can't even speak. Sorry. Can't even speak.
You're like, I don't know what day it is anymore. Neither do we.
I don't know what day, man.
But do you feel like you can go all the way?
Every tournament I go into, I believe I can go all the way. I think obviously the past few years, I haven't really led up to what people expect of me. And I think I've been working on the mental side. I think I've got the ability every year, but it's all about being consistent and being clinical, composed, as guys like Tom and Tex, as you can see. Like, that's the level difference between them guys and everyone else. So, I mean, if I play my best, I believe I can go all the way, but it's a tough road, and hopefully I can just be consistent, and that's all I really want.
Yeah, and just quickly, I was going to say, so you've been working with a coach to try and improve your mentality. How much has that helped?
It's helped me so much. I think, like, even today, I was nervous before the tournament, don't get me wrong, but when I'm playing, I'm so much more relaxed, which allows me to be a bit more free going forward, because that's something I kind of struggle with when playing in tournaments. When I'm attacking, I'm scared to lose the ball, I'm scared to take a risk, whereas now I'm a lot more relaxed. Don't get me wrong, in that game, I'm all over the place, because I know he was really dangerous going forward, so I knew I couldn't really give the ball away easily, but it's helped me so much, and I just hopefully, like, a couple more wins like that, and it can just boost my confidence, and then hopefully I can be up there with the big guys.
Well, we shall see. Shells, thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday. Go and relax.
Yeah, I need to sleep now. I might go to bed.
We'll see you soon. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Nicole. Right, let's not be chatting to Kyle, the smuggest man I've ever met right now. Instead, let's have a look at some of the goals from the other quarter-final, of course, between Mark Marley and Damie, and that was Fulham versus Brighton. Very, very tight affair, this one. Obviously, Damie getting off to the better start with Fulham. A little bit of Buckley ball there, played straight across. Really, really well finished, but Mark Marley coming back. Not one to be put down, is he, Mark Marley? He did actually go on to lose the first leg, though, with this 88th minute goal, brilliantly taken by Bukayo Saka. The second leg, though, Mark Marley started to fight back, didn't he? A really, really tense game. This one went all the way to extra time. Some fantastic finishing from both Mark Marley and Damie, but what was going on there? What a terrible bit of goalkeeping from Damie. And this was in the 57th minute. Really, really well taken by Bruno Fernandes. It went to extra time. This is the 122nd minute. What about that for a moment for our previous finalist, Mark Marley? He must have been absolutely buzzing for Brighton, Carl.
Yes, now we can have a look at the results right there. As you can see, it was Fulham 3, Brighton and Hove Albion, meaning Mark Marley goes 3, winning that one to the semi-final, where he will face Manchester City. Yes, Shells will be facing him on Friday in that semi-final right there. That means we've got all 8 of our semi-finalists right now, all competing on Friday in those finals. On the PlayStation side of things, we've got #Tom representing Tottenham. Then we've got M. Hayward with Sheffield United, Shells for Man City, Mark Marley for Brighton. On the Xbox semi-finalist side of things, it's Leeds, Arsenal, Chelsea and Man United all competing to be crowned the ePremier League champion. Make sure you join us on Friday. We'll see you there.